What's up, y'all? My name is Sebastian Rios. I'm a 24-year-old upright bass player. Yes, I play this monstrosity that is the upright bass. Yes, I'm aware she is taller than me. She's about 6 foot. I'm 5'9". You know, if a girl asks me, I'm 5'10". But yeah, I just want to tell y'all a little bit about the bass, the history of it. But before that, I want to kind of introduce myself, let y'all know who I am, a little bit about my story. So I'm originally from Miami, Florida, and I started playing the bass around 10 years ago when I was just a 13-year-old middle school kid. I had been playing guitar for a while. I was really into like metal and rock, all that kind of headbanger stuff. And, I wanted to get better. I wanted to learn more about music. And so my mom was always looking for opportunities for me to, explore that. And so she ended up getting me an audition for a middle school that was a performing arts middle school in high school that, was teaching music. And so I went to audition, and the teacher that was auditioning me, he was a big jazz guy and jazz teacher. And I started playing all this stuff on guitar, and he's like, I think you're going to be a great jazz bass player. And at first I thought he meant, the little, electric bass, this one over here. But no, he meant the upright bass. Yes. And so I looked at that and I said, man, I think I'm going to stick to guitar. But all of a sudden he started showing me jazz music, like great albums by people like Miles Davis and John Coltrane. And there was this one song off a Miles Davis album called Kinda Blue called So What? That has this amazing bass line. I'll play it for you right now. I heard that bass line for the first time. I said, whoa, this is kind of cool. This is kind of cool. And from that point on, I learned that. And that was it. I was going. I was learning as much as I could. And I started, winning competitions, local competitions. I got sent to, jazz camp. I got sent to, study with some great teachers. And I got kind of put on the right track. And as time went on, I got better and better and better. And it got to the point where I was about to graduate high school. And so I had to pick a college to go to, and so I always really want to go to the Juilliard school, because Juilliard not only is probably the best school in the world for music, but it had all those guys that I was listening to on those recordings that inspired me so much to play jazz. A lot of them were teaching at Juilliard, especially this one guy named Ron Carter, who is the most recorded bass player of all time. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records. And I was just totally obsessed with, his playing and everything. And he was teaching there. So I said, oh my God, if I could study with him, it would be a dream come true. So the thing is about Juilliard is that you had to audition to audition. That's right. You had to send in a recording of yourself before you even get up to New York to audition for them. So I sent the recording and they said, okay, you can come up. We invite you up. And so I went up to New York, and all of a sudden I find myself in front of Ron Carter, my idol, playing, music that he played before. And I was, inspired to play by him, right? And so, I had practiced so much, though. The 2 weeks before the audition, I locked myself in my room and I said, I'm going to play nothing but this audition material this whole time. And I did it every single day until I got up there, and I was ready. I was nervous, though. I was so nervous. But I had that music in, my bones just because I practiced it so much. And in the middle of the audition, after I played a couple songs, Ron said, I think I'm going to give you a full scholarship. And I was like, what? I didn't even believe him. But turns out he wasn't lying. And so I got to go to Juilliard and study with him, study with people like Wynton Marsalis. And all of a sudden I was up in New York, the jazz capital of the world. And I started hanging out at all these great jazz clubs with all these legendary musicians playing. And I started playing with them and, gigging and doing all this great stuff. And not only that, I got to share that with all these amazing peers and friends that I got to know from the Juilliard School. I got to know from those jazz clubs. And yeah, man, now we're out here. And so I'm going to start, by just showing you kind of how the bass came to be this amazing thing in American music. The beginning of it started when bass actually replaced the tuba. Before, jazz music, the bass was known as a classical instrument. Cats down in New Orleans around, the turn of the century, early 1900s, they said, we need to make this instrument that's just as powerful and just as is present as something like this huge tuba. So they started playing this slap style. And so the slap style kind of goes like this. So as the music progressed, so did the rhythm. And now, instead of playing this kind of halftime feel of the slap style, people were playing 4/4 feel in places like Kansas City around the 1930s in the swing era. And 4/4 basically means that you play every single beat of the measure, and it sounds something like this. So a few years later, great innovations were made by people like Jimmy Blanton and Milt Hinton. And they transformed the bass more into a solo instrument, and they were able to play a lot faster as they were able to refine their technique. And so it sounded something like this. So as the music continued, we went into the bebop era, and we started seeing people like Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie playing at blazing tempos with songs like Cherokee. I gotta apologize for those little bass faces I'm making. Sometimes when you get up there in tempo, you just gotta do a little to, make the tempo. But yeah, I'm super excited to be teaching y'all. Now that we went over a little bit of the history, I'm just gonna leave y'all with a funk jam, but I'm gonna be back.